Good afternoon and welcome in. My name is Aaron Light. I'm the Vice President of MSP Coaching here at Technology Marketing Toolkit. Happy to have you guys on today. And we're just going to give everybody just another minute here as they continue to sort of virtually file in. But do me a favor real quick. And again, if you're here to learn how to set up autopilot marketing systems in your business, that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. And I'm excited to talk with you guys. If you real quick, someone find the chat for me and or a few people and let me know where you're watching from and also the number one marketing question or sales question as it relates to marketing that you would like to have answered today. And chances are we're going to cover it, but I'd love to hear from you where you're watching from and the number one marketing question you'd like to have answered. And just a couple housekeeping notes as you're doing that. Riding shotgun with me today is Robert from my team. So if you have questions as we're going through the webinar today, please feel free. You can post those in chat. If you don't want to put them in the public forum, you can send those to Robert directly, and he's going to lob me up some questions at the end of our time together. And then we'll kind of get, going from there. And I will say this. It's a very special webinar today. We've got some things that we're going to be giving you guys at the very end that we have not offered before. So please hang on till the end. Make sure you stay for the Q&A. We've got some really good stuff to share there as well. So let's see. We've got, Great Falls, Montana. Boy, I love that. Matthew, great to have you on, my friend. Montana's beautiful. I served in the Navy many, many years ago. So I've had a couple cross-country moves, and every time I drove through Montana, it just looks like a postcard. Beautiful. All right. We got Edward down in Florida. Fantastic. Great state of Texas, Toronto, Houston. Boy, we got some great spots on today. Lots of places I like to be, like to visit. So happy to have you guys. And for those of you that have just joined us, my name is Aaron Light. I'm the Vice President of MSP Coaching here at Technology Marketing Toolkit. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Today, we are going to talk about how to set up autopilot marketing systems in your business to consistently bring on 1 to 2 good, high quality clients every single month. And so I actually want to start off with a story. And this is going to make an interesting point, I think. This was a few years ago. The Washington Post, they conducted a social experiment, and essentially they wanted to demonstrate how outward appearances and perceptions impact the value that we place on things. So what they did, they took this gentleman here. If anybody knows who that is, probably should have cut off his name at the bottom if I wanted it to be a surprise. This is Joshua Bell. He's one of the world's most accomplished violinists. And they asked him to go down into a Washington, D.C. subway during rush hour and for 45 minutes to play some very intricate Bach pieces. And the only catch was they didn't dress him up like you see him on the right. They dressed him up like a street musician, like you would see him on the left there. And so there was no outward recognition as to who he was or what he was doing there, of course. And so for 45 minutes, he plays. Mind you, he's got his violin case out so people can throw in some money, right? Tips as they're going by. The violin that he's playing, by the way, a $13 million Stradivarius violin. I don't know anything about violins, but it's probably a good thing that no one knew who he was. So does anybody want to take a guess? Over the entire 45 minutes, thousands of people walking by. Throw it in the chat. Let me know. What do you think he made? How much do you think he made? He's got his case out there. Thousands of people walking by, tossing in tips. How much money do you think Joshua Bell, one of the world's best violinists, made in that DC subway in a span of 45 minutes? Anybody want to take a guess? Throw it in chat. Anybody? Somebody's got a guess. Come on now. $50, $20. Oh, good guesses. Good guesses. Not bad. Not bad. I'll go ahead and tell you because you guys were both pretty close. $32.17. A whopping $32, right? 6 people stopped for a moment to watch him play. Everybody else walked by. And a lot of people just didn't even notice, So why am I starting out with a story? Well, this was the same guy that just 2 nights prior had sold out Boston Symphony Hall, where the average ticket price was more than $100 a seat. There's some perspective for you, right? So I think it's a perfect demonstration of how important marketing is to your business, more specifically, how you're valued or not, and how the marketplace is going to respond to you, and how much you can charge for your services, and whether you're seen and welcomed as a trusted authority advisor, or if you're ignored, blocked, and dismissed as just another IT guy, right? Here's the truth of the matter. before the sale, nobody knows how good you are. They only know how good your marketing is, right? And how unfair is that? I mean, you could absolutely have the best services. You could do great work. You could hire the best, most talented staff and, competent professionals just killing it for you every day and, just master service delivery and quality. But if your marketing is impotent or it's just non-existent, you're going to get ignored. You're going to get blocked and price shopped and disrespected. So here's another truth bomb for you. If you give them no other reason to make their decision, they're always going to default to buying on price. So just show of virtual hands here, type in the chat or let me know, because I'm going to ask you to be interactive as we go through over about the next hour or so here. How many of you get fee resistance right now? Anybody? Or maybe, you've lost sales to cheaper and lesser qualified competitors, or if you've got a client that, tells you they don't want to take your recommendations because they feel like it's more than what they need, which who knows how they're basing that because they don't even know what they don't know, right? This is all due to a failure to properly market and position yourself. So I'm here today to work on your behalf. I'm going to give you some real world practical advice and proven marketing strategies so you can not just get more clients, but more high quality, right fit clients that appreciate your services and are willing to pay what you're worth. All right. So 3 quick promises that we're going to go through today. First, we're going to talk about why most MSPs marketing, what they're currently doing, is a giant waste of time and money and the only type of marketing you should be doing. We're going to talk about how to use marketing to properly position yourself as that trusted authority. Get these guys predispositioned to buy from you regardless of price. And my favorite part, the autopilot marketing systems, right? You guys automate as much as you possibly can on the IT side of the business. The sales and marketing should be no different because I know you guys very well. I've been in the industry a long time. I've been doing this a long time. And most MSPs that I talk to would absolutely abdicate the responsibility of sales and marketing if they had their choice, right? And I don't blame you for that, okay? It's because that's typically not really what they're into, okay? And that's fine. But we have to sort of drive this ship, right? We have to take control of this. And the good news is, if you listen to what I tell you today, and if you do what I ask you to do, you'll instill repeatable marketing systems in the business so that your marketing is running on autopilot. And then you don't have to worry about it. Okay. You should always know where that next good client is coming from. And if you don't, then you're sort of living by the seat of your pants, right? We want some predictability in our business. We want to build the business by design, not by default. So we'll talk more about that as we go through. A little bit about me, just quickly a background. If we go way back, I was in the Navy, loved my time in. I was anti-ship missile defense. My job was to make sure that the ship did not take a missile. I listened to radars and dealt with missile ranges and such, and that's about all I can tell you. But I love my time in, and since departing the service, I've worked with and built several highly successful sales and marketing teams for a couple different Fortune 1000 companies. But I've been with Robin and team here for well over a decade now. I've serviced personally and coached more than 8,000 MSPs and IT companies one-on-one on how to get an effective sales and marketing plan in place. So this is what I'm very passionate about doing. And I look forward to working with all of you guys as well, hopefully too. A little bit about us as a company. If you don't know, right, everybody knows Robin though, but if you don't know about us as a company, we go back well over 20 years. We've serviced over 10,000 different IT companies that have enrolled in one or more of our programs. We run the largest IT sales and marketing peer and mastermind groups in the entire industry, which is saying something, right? We have more documented client success stories, case studies, and testimonials, and have ultimately brought on more revenue for more IT businesses than any other sales or marketing consulting firm in the history of the space. All right. So everything we do, everything we teach, it's all proven. There's no guesswork involved in how we operate. And to kind of show that to you, I want to introduce you to some of our clients because you might be wondering, right? Do we work with small clients, large clients, startups, established MSPs? It's all of the above, really. It follows the channel. But I will share with you a few of our clients. And please understand, none of these guys that I'm about to show you were savvy, sophisticated marketers when they first came to us. All right. You're going to look at their numbers and you're going to think otherwise, but that's after we've implemented, right? So David Javahari, actually, show of virtual hands. Anybody get MSP Success Magazine? If you don't, I would highly recommend you do. Great publication. You can go to mspsuccessmagazine.com. It's a free subscription. But David Javahari, He was on the cover of MSP Success Magazine last month. He's out of Boston. He's 7 million plus today, but the last 12 months with us, he's done 1.3 million of that. His MRR is up over 150,000 and his net profits are up over 11,000%. Very specific numbers. Brian and Mary Hamilton, love these guys. If you went to DattoCon last year, you probably remember Brian's name. Brian spoke at DattoCon. Incredible story. When Brian first called me, when he started sort of his growth journey, him and Mary, he called me up and they had $800 in their bank account and they had just lost a big client and they were about to lose one more. And they did, in fact, lose that other client. And they've got 5 kids and they were living in a basement apartment at the time. It was not a good situation. So fast forward a couple years now, right? They're over 2 million in sales. Last 12 months of that, they've done almost 1 million of it. Their MRR is up over $100,000 and their net profits are up over 1,800%. Pretty incredible stuff, right? So anybody can do it. Doesn't matter what situation you're in right now, you can certainly change the outcome. Derek Anderson of BizTech, he's out in California. He's 2.1 million today. Last 12 months, he's done over 700,000 of that with us. His MRR is up almost $60,000 per month in new MRR, and his net profits are up 972%. And I mentioned the specific numbers, right? Because that's how we measure success. We don't measure success based on leads, based on impressions, based on this, that, or the other. We measure success based on new client acquisition and how much money we're bringing on, what the profitability is, right? Very specific numbers. Okay, that's how we tell. Roland Parker, he's in Houston. I think we had somebody in here from Texas, right? Yeah, so he's 3.5 million. You might know Impress Computers there in Houston. Last 12 months, revenue's up 1.1 million with us, over 40,000 in new MRR, and net profits up over 219%. Just great stuff, right? And then, you're sitting here going, all right, well, maybe we're a startup and we don't have any clients. These guys are all multi-million-dollar MSPs. Don't worry one bit about it. Scott Hazadagan, when he started his MSP, he had 0 clients. That was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I guess 3 now. Gosh, time is flying. He started up in the middle of COVID. He said, hey, there's a global pandemic going. Let's start a business. But it turned out pretty well. He called us up and started working with us right away. He's got 11 employees now. He's 2.1 million. Revenue's up 1.3 in the past 12 months, right? Now, I could go on and on. I could share 1,000 more similar success stories and case studies and testimonials, but I don't want to spend all of our time doing that. But hopefully you can see by this that I've got something valuable to share with you today. And I'll show you exactly what these guys did to get to where they're at. Okay. I'll make the same recommendations on how they got started as well. But I would just say one request: check your skepticisms at the door, because there's going to be some things naturally that I say that you dismiss or say, that doesn't work or this doesn't work. Look, maybe in your experience, but it was probably just done improperly. I hear it all the time with things like direct mail. We tried direct mail, it doesn't work. Well, when we talk about direct mail, we're also talking about automated emails and LinkedIn connections and phone call follow-up. That's part of a campaign. When most people talk about things like direct mail, they're talking about buying a list from some company online, not cleaning it or scrubbing it, blasting out a postcard to a few thousand people, never making a single follow-up phone call, and then wondering why their phone isn't ringing off the hook with new leads and opportunities. It's not the media's fault. The media was used improperly. All right. So just, don't sit here in reject mode, because I don't want you to miss out on some great things that could truly change your business, change the trajectory of what it's going to look like in the next 2, 3, 5 years plus. Okay. Now, before we get into what you need to do, I want to briefly touch on what we want to stay away from, and 3 primary reasons most MSPs fail in marketing and new client acquisition. The first reason is they use the vulture marketing plan. And you might know what this is. It's our official term, right? So you might not know, because we made it up. This is where you wait for something to die in front of you, right? And then you go jump on the carcass and you fight the other vultures for the scraps. It's, there's no hunting involved. So you got to just take whatever comes your way, and look, I get it. Some of you might say, but, I get all my business from word of mouth referrals, and that's fine. I mean, it's not, we want to change that, but we love referrals. Referrals are great, but Let me tell you a few things about referrals. First of all, I don't know a single truly successful, fast-growing MSP that is relying solely on referrals to bring in new clients. Not a single one, okay? They're doing actual marketing and hiring and managing and growing, okay? And the second thing is that great marketing is not just about getting more clients. We don't just want whatever comes our way. We want the right clients. We want to be picky and selective, the ones that cheerfully pay for your services. They appreciate it. They take your advice. They seek it out. And it's about being able to charge enough money to generate a reasonable profit, right? Having the stability and strength in your business and being able to replace the income of any client should you end up losing them, right? Always need to know where that next client is coming from. If you don't know where your next client is coming from, you're in the right place. We'll get you fixed, okay? And then the third thing is, nothing good really happens by accident, in my opinion, because if you are going to list referrals as your only or a primary source of new client acquisition, I would challenge you at the very least to have a strategic system for fueling them and following up on them and, rewarding and incentivizing clients that have referred and then going back to get more, or going to those clients who have referred, right? Figuring out how to get their buddies to refer, right? I've never met in more than 10 years that I've been doing this with MSPs, a single company that can show me their system for referrals before they start working with us. Not a single one, which probably explains this research. We went out to over 1,700 MSPs. We wanted to find out how many good quality appointments they were going on every single month. See what the activity is, right? And it was overwhelming. It was pretty shocking, actually. More than 75% were going on less than 2 qualified appointments every single month. And that's a big issue as far as I'm concerned. Now, look, I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers when I say this, but maybe you're okay being small and being a 20-year startup. That is absolutely your choice. But let me tell you why not having sufficient deal flow and lead generation is a much bigger problem than you might realize. First thing, you're not great at closing sales because you don't get sufficient practice. All right. And I know there's plenty of people listening right now that are going, no, that's not me, man. We close everybody we talk to. We just need more leads. I hear this every single day, right? We need more leads. We close everybody. Well, the reason you're saying that is because that high close rate, that like nearly 100% close rate that you're talking about, it's all coming from word of mouth referrals and networking based referrals. Those should close at nearly 100%, right? Those are good. We want more of those. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that. That's a great thing. But when you get out here, in the real world, we start marketing and, these leads, these opportunities are the ones that like wake up in the morning, they eat their young and then they come after you. We got to have a sales process in place. You know what I mean? It's very important. And then you end up selling on price because you don't have the marketing tools and systems in place to build the value of your services. And so what do? You drop your price so that you win the deal. And we don't want to do that. A deal won on price is a deal lost on price every time. This is also why typically, in my experience, cold calling doesn't work. Now, calling to follow up on specific campaigns and having a purpose for your call tied to a campaign or a process, that's absolutely effective. But just cold calling typically leads to, hey, we've already got somebody. How much do you charge? Right? You had no opportunity to build any value. You're already to the price issue. It's just not good positioning, in my opinion. And then you can't hire new techs. It's that chicken or the egg, right? I need to get a new tech, so that I can bring on more business. But if I don't have the business, I can't afford to pay the tech. So what do? Right? And you're not sure if you're going to have the money to cover the cost. It's a bad spot. And then what happens? You become desperate and you take on opportunities that you absolutely know you should turn away. But again, you don't have any systems and processes in place. You have no idea when your next client is going to come along. So you got to take everything that comes your way. I also see this a lot with brand new startups. They'll call up and we'll start talking and they'll say, we really don't have a target market right now because in the beginning, we're just going to take anything we can get because we really need the revenue. That's a bad spot to be in too, because then you create this big issue where you've got all these clients that you don't really like. They're not well behaved. They don't take your advice. They don't see the value in what you're doing. So you look around one day and it's like you're having this party and you hate everybody there, right? Except you're the one that invited all of them. It's a bad spot to be in. And then you're at high risk of losing a key client and you've got, again, no way to replace them should you have to, or should you lose them, right? And then reason number two, you're asking the prospect to take too big of a leap. Okay. If I go to your website right now, in most cases, I'm not going to see what I need to see, which is, a clear call to action. I want to see who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, and a secondary call to action as well. Most MSPs websites are typically, going from, hey, noticing you to buy now, or talking to a salesperson right now. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to actually show you our marketing funnel. I'm also going to show you 5 different marketing oil wells that our clients use for good, predictable new client acquisition. But I am going to show you a funnel and what I'm talking about with the website. But we need to have a secondary way to at least engage and start the conversation, because if they go hit your website and they don't want to talk to a salesperson just yet, there's no other option, and they leave, you're never going to hear from them again. So we have to use what is called lead generation marketing. What is that, and why do we do it? Well, lead generation marketing, it's a process of generating interest in a product or service by first promoting some type of content that they're going to find value in, so that we can start a dialogue and gain permission to sell. All right. So this is how we do it. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment. The third reason most fail is because they're using random acts and hope, right? If you remember The Price is Right, this was the Plinko board. It was my favorite game. And they would win Plinko chips by guessing high or low on the different items. And then they take their Plinko chips and they drop them down, this board. And what you can't see in the picture is at the bottom of the board, right? You've got, different slots that the chips will fall in. Some of them 500, 1,000, $5,000, but there's also bankruptcy slots. And if your chip falls in that, then you lose everything that you won. And that's how a lot of MSPs are doing marketing. It's random attempts. It's pot shots at generating some money. Sometimes it works. Sometimes you go broke. And that's no way to run a railroad, in my opinion. So the big takeaway here is that marketing does not have to be a Plinko board of chance. In fact, if you're spending all of your money and your time just hoping that this time it's going to work, you're doing it all wrong. Good marketing is based on systems and processes, just like effective selling is. It's not random acts and hope. And we have a term for those. We call them marketing oil wells. And again, I'm going to show you 5 of those in just a moment. So just to kind of recap, the biggest reasons most fail in marketing, as far as the campaigns themselves, are very vague. They're confusing. They're rife with platitudes, right? If I ask you, how do you set yourself apart? What is your unique selling proposition? Most companies can't tell me how exactly they set themselves apart. They'll say things like this, we provide great service. We're really responsive. We've got great text. We care about your business. We're a one-stop shop, pick 2 or 3, and that's what you're dealing with. So we've got to be able to differentiate ourselves from the competition as well. And we have to know who we're talking to. Do you have a good, well-defined target market? Because 1 to 100 is not a target market. That's gross ignorance. That's everybody. Okay. You can't effectively be all things to all people. You can't boil the ocean. All right. There's a big difference between a company with 100 seats and one with 10. Okay. Then if we add on a specific vertical, now you have to refine that approach even further. So let's say you're going after a medical practice. Well, that's great, but we need to approach them differently than you would a CPA or a law firm or a manufacturer, whoever, because each one, they've all got their own needs, their own wants, their own systems and processes and communication preferences, right? All that. So any of those can be great target markets. And like I said, you can absolutely have more than one. That's perfectly fine too. Just so long as individually your business model and your pricing, and especially your approach, is geared specifically to those target markets. What you don't want to do is just spend a bunch of money sending out these generic messages to these big generic lists where these guys are just kind of all mixed in. Hope that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense, if that resonates with you. Next thing is they lack a compelling low risk offer. We have to have something, lead generation marketing, to start that conversation. And they fail to hit on a prospect's hot buttons. This is so important. It's not like it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you might have been going up against an incumbent provider maybe 20% of the time, whereas now it's like 90% plus. You've got to unseat that incumbent provider. And here's the deal. If you hear anything I say today, hear me on this. No one is going to leave their existing provider just because you might be better. that's not going to make them move. And if you think it is, then you're wrong. I hate to tell you, be the bearer of bad news, but you've seen it as much as I have, most likely. You've got companies out there right now that are absolutely underserved and unhappy with their existing provider, but they'll sit there in terrible pain just because they figure that moving to you could be more difficult, right? It's that devil you know sort of scenario. So we really have to focus on their hot buttons. What makes them tick? How do they make decisions? How can they leverage and better their own business by using IT to do so? That's where we have to win the conversation. All right. Now, what is a marketing oil well? As I said, this is a repeatable marketing system. This is something we use to get the same result every single time within a reasonable variance, plus or minus a couple percent. All right. There's specific marketing systems that we have to have productive in the business that tie into the marketing oil wells. And we've got different marketing oil wells that accomplish each one of these critical marketing systems. The first is maximizing client value, obviously, right? Anybody out there doing QBRs or TBRs with every single client, every single quarter? I know most companies I talk to, they mean to be doing that. It's on their agenda. They have, plans to do that eventually, but they get busy. It gets put on the back burner. They don't get it done. All right. So we have to get that squared away. We got to go deeper with our existing clients. Cross-selling, upselling, referral campaigns, everything. And then weekly prospecting for new clients. So go deeper with our existing. We need net new clients as well. And we got to be priced right, which is another issue. Inbound lead to close campaigns. So list building. How many people need a better list? Almost every single company I talk to, the first thing they say is, can you help us build a list? Right? Absolutely. We got 7, 8, 9 different list building campaigns as part of the program. And then we've got specific campaigns that you run those lists through to clean, scrub, and qualify them, right? Get them into your drip marketing as well. And there it is, drip marketing and follow-up systems. So, we want to make sure that we're following up. We're not losing opportunities, okay? And that means staying in front and staying top of mind so that when they're ready to make a decision, you're the clear and obvious choice. We're also trying to move them closer to making a decision. Now, I want to walk you through a couple of different marketing oil wells. There's actually 5 here. So I'm going to go over these, and I want you to be thinking about which oil well you would most likely use. What's your favorite? Because they're not hard. They're not tough to do. And if you're a client of ours, these are all available to you. So the first one is a prospecting marketing oil well. And like I said, we've got, a process in place for building a list of high probability sweet spot prospects. And then we take that list and we run them through this aspirin campaign, which is basically, it's like a plant the farm system. Okay. Now, what's important to understand when I show you these results is that this is to a cold list, ice cold. All right. They don't know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. They might not even know or care that you exist until they see this. And the second thing you need to understand is that these results are just the beginning, because like I said, this is a plant the farm system. This is how we initially build and qualify a list, and we start engaging with a pre-qualified list of prospects that are likely to be spending money on outsourced IT. So we're getting them familiar with us. So then when they're ready to make a switch, we're not just on the radar, but we're top of the list. So I pulled Roland Parker's numbers for this because he's been doing this for a couple of years now, and he does a high volume. You don't have to do this much. He sends out 120 per week. You might do 50 a month. That's fine. He's worked his way up to this. He's got a salesperson following up on all these campaigns. He's added over 1,900 qualified prospects to their list for drip marketing. Now, here's the fun part. It's going to be, some people are going to get this, some maybe not, but there's different purposes for different campaigns, right? This campaign is specifically for planting the farm. It's for putting people into the funnel for drip marketing. So inherently, its job is not necessarily new client acquisition from the first campaign. However, it's still going to happen. Over the past couple of years, he's added 15 new clients from this campaign, 37,000 in new monthly recurring revenue, 1.36 million total contract value. And again, this campaign just gets better and better because once they're in your funnel, you're going to continue to drip on them and you're going to convert them one at a time. Here's another one. And this one I want you to remember for the end. When we open this up to questions, I want you to remember this cybersecurity seminar. And I've got a reason for telling you that. So hang on tight with me. Brian and Mary Hamilton, they ran this one. It was the first time they ran it. It's very, very cool. 65 attendees, 70% were prospects. They secured 2 local news interviews just to get the word out about it. So kind of becoming a little bit locally famous for what they're speaking on. They sold from an afternoon, 11,000 in new monthly recurring revenue and another 150,000 in project work. What are you so busy doing? You can't spend an afternoon doing this. It could be a seminar, webinar, lunch and learn, however you want to set it up. But we give you these campaigns. It's incredible, right? You just have to plug and play. This is the very first one they ran. I thought it was worth noting that they had an attendee there that was a CIO of a $700 million company. So there's another big deal to go along with it, right? And so they're just going to rinse and repeat every single quarter now, which is pretty phenomenal. Then you have follow-up marketing oil wells. Now, David Javahari, he ran this one, and you see it says switching to direct IT is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a very specific message. The reason he went with that message is because he pulled a list of everybody that he had met with over the past year that said they weren't going to switch to him because switching IT companies was too painful. So imagine if you had a way to split and segment your list so you could do it by those types of criteria. That's where marketing automation comes in. He targeted 50 plus user prospects. He offered a 90-day guarantee to remove the risk. And he generated from this one campaign, this is a postcard with phone call follow-up, but it's speaking to their hot buttons, 30 new clients, 85,000 in new monthly recurring revenue. That's every single month, 85,000 new MRR, right? Another 200,000 in project work. Just incredible. Okay. Speaking to the hot buttons, it makes a big difference. Then you got the trade show and sponsor marketing oil wells. Now, this one's not as glitzy, not as glamorous. Okay. But it's all about the numbers. That's what matters. Tom Glover, he runs these. He invites CEOs and CIOs. He knows, and this is the key here, he knows every time he does one of these, he's going to get 10 to 12 leads consistently. He knows that he's going to close 2 out of 3. So what, 8 new clients from that, 6 to 8 new clients, and each one is worth over $21,000 to him. Well, there you go, right? Spend an afternoon, close 2 out of 3, 21,000 a piece. Why wouldn't you do that? This is simple stuff. You just have to set the time aside, a couple hours a week. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. Most people don't start with marketing because they don't have a plan, right? They don't know where to go. They don't know how to start. They don't have the plan. They don't have the material, the content, the direction, the coaching. We can fix all that, but just know that that's the reason people don't do this. So once you have the plan and you got the systems and the processes, you implement, and then you're running on autopilot. That's what we're looking for. And then this is a big one. Okay. Now the QBRs, TBRs, call it what you like. You can do these quarterly. You can call them TBRs because you do them at a different time period. That's fine too. Will Nobles, he's one of our head coaches. I pulled his numbers because he does these QBRs with every managed client every single quarter. He's got it fully automated out of our CRM. And in the last 12 months, and again, this is why I'm saying, if you're not doing this right now, you absolutely need to fix that. You need to be doing this. He's averaging over 11,000 per month in new monthly recurring revenue. It's pretty phenomenal, right? That's just from QBRs. That's not counting project work that he's getting there or other campaigns he's running. 11,000 in new MRR. So what type of marketing should you be doing? Well, there's characteristics to this, right? The first of which is attracting those right fit clients to you. Okay. That's what good educational direct response marketing is going to do. It should be accountable to delivering measurable results. So we don't do anything if we can't measure it. Like I was saying in the beginning, if we can't, see the effectiveness, there's no point in spending $1 on it. It should position you properly as a trusted, authoritative expert. Okay. And then it should be media agnostic. We need to use the right media for the right markets, because not every single market's going to use every single type of media. And it should be founded in consistent systems, what I just referred to as marketing oil wells, not random acts or pot shots, manual labor, prospecting, or hope. Okay. We only want to do what is proven. So what type of marketing is this? What hits on all 5? Well, it's educational direct response. And, essentially it's a type of direct response marketing, and direct response has been around forever. We didn't invent it. It's been called different things over the years, like permission marketing or content marketing or inbound marketing, but I got news for you. It's all direct response. And I will submit to you that if you want your marketing to actually pay off to the point where you can spend $1 today and get $5 or $10 back in your bank account, preferably tomorrow, and know, not guess, not hope, but know that it's going to actually generate an ROI, this is the only type of marketing that you need to be doing. All right. So let me walk you through a funnel. I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like, because most people don't understand the scope of what marketing actually looks like. All right. So at the top of the funnel, we use a variety of media to bring these prospects in. And again, at the top, they don't necessarily know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. That's okay. We're just bringing them into the top, and we're using a variety of media to do that. Now, here's the best part. If you're working with us, you don't have to create any content ever. Okay. You don't have to have a creative bone in your body. We give you all of the content, all of the campaigns, sales letters, scripts, copy, new content, new campaigns, new emails, blog posts, social media, every single month. All right. So we use these lead generation offers to draw them in. Now, if we were to take a look at your website, like I said, most people, they'll have a contact us. They might have, if they're really fancy, they might have a free report or something like that. That's great. But a lot of times it's just contact us or a phone number. I've seen plenty of websites that didn't have any of that, right? And their defense of this is, hey, this is just more of an online business card for us. Your website is a tool to convert. So we drive traffic to the website, and then we need to make sure that it actually converts. So we make that EDR offer on the site. And you'll notice here with this example, good, clear messaging, who they are, what they do, and who they do it for. IT services for Houston, engineering, construction, and manufacturing businesses. Boom, right there. Good messaging. Frustrated with the lack of responsiveness and slow service from your current company? Give us a call today. Great. What if they don't want to call? That's all right. We got a free report right there. Okay. And it's a compelling offer, right? It's also facilitating their need to gather some more information, and it's non-threatening, and it gets them to opt in. They get something of value. You get permission to sell, and it's always selling the next step of the consultation. Now, at this point, we put them into marketing automation. All right. That's how we're going to do the follow-up. And look, depending on where you're at in your business, you may or may not have any marketing automation. I don't know if you're using a CRM or not. You might be using your PSA as a CRM, Autotask, ConnectWise, what have you. They have a CRM component, but it's not a true blue CRM, right? A true CRM is going to do things like this, right? So with the free information, it delivers it automatically. Okay. And obviously the content that's being delivered allows you to sell without appearing to sell. It positions you properly. We're killing objections. We're handling fee resistance in advance, because if you can, you want to kill all of those objections before you ever show up for that sales call. You want to educate these prospects to a point where you're the clear and obvious choice, and all of their objections and everything are out the window before you ever show up. And again, it always sells the next step of a consultation, because we're always moving closer to the sale. Now, I mentioned the marketing automation. So it's very important that whatever system you use for marketing automation does these things. Okay. Now, I will say we have a CRM. We're the largest reseller in the world of this particular CRM, because all of our campaigns are built out into the CRM. So if you have questions on that, if you need the marketing automation, there's going to be an option at the end here. You can shoot me an email. We can talk offline to determine what you need and how much, okay, as far as that. But the marketing automation system, what we're looking for it to do and what it's doing for you is delivering the content, capturing and tracking the lead, booking the appointment, notifying you and your sales team, or if you don't have a sales team, it's notifying you or your staff. And it's basically keeping it, that lead, that opportunity as an open ticket until you choose to do something with it. And then it creates that task for somebody to just check it, make sure it's clean. It's a good qualified lead. It's not garbage, right? And then it's going to start sending automated emails to follow up and book that next appointment. All right. So this is what we want the automation to do, not you to do, especially if you're a smaller MSP. Well, gosh, even if you're a big one, it really is applicable to everyone. You want to take as much of this type of stuff off of your plate as possible so you can focus on running the business. It's just like all these companies that come to me, they say, I don't have time for marketing. I'm too busy. Well, let's automate the processes so you don't have to worry about it as much. Now, at this point, they are, if qualified, they're, which is a marketing qualified lead. That means someone that we want to do business with, but maybe up to that point, they've not yet booked a consultation, but we have qualified them. All right. Then we book that consultation. Now it's a sales qualified lead. Okay. So we're getting a little closer. Once that meeting is booked, we're going to send out our sales secret weapon. Okay. It's called a shock and awe. And we have an online version, we have a digital version, and we have a hard copy version that we do. But the whole purpose of the shock and awe is to educate, position properly, kill objections, and ultimately set you apart from your competition. Your competition's not doing stuff like this, okay? So in this shock and awe, you're going to have things like a service provider comparison chart, X number of reasons to do business with us, what makes us unique, X number of ways to protect your business from a cyber attack, different awards that you've won, maybe a video from you. And you're always going to have a cover letter, actual physical and a digital version, that's explaining what's going to happen in that meeting, in that consultation, how it's going to be conducted, who needs to be there, what they should expect. That is setting the proper expectation. And I'm telling you, if you do these things, you are going to close more deals, and it's going to feel like all those good word of mouth referrals. All right. Now, at this point, even though the sales process should be easy at that point, we still want to use a scripted, documented sales process to close the deal. We want consistency in everything that we're doing. And also, if you bring on a salesperson, you want to have that sales process laid out for them to follow as well. Ongoing marketing, QBRs, client development activities, turn them from a client into a raving fan. And so I'm going to ask you real quick, see who's paying attention. We're looking for raving fans. And so if we've got a client that loves us, they appreciate us, they take our advice, there's a couple things that we're looking for from them. Does anybody want to take a guess what we want from a good raving fan? What are they going to give us? They're going to give us two things. If we're doing a great job for them, we're killing it. What are we going to get? What are we looking for? Ah, perfect. Thank you, Stuart. We got testimonials, right? They're going to give us good 5-star reviews and testimonials. And what else are we looking for from them? You guys love them the most. They're the best. They close the best. What are they? Who's got it? Anybody? They're typing. There it is. Stuart comes through in the clutch. Referrals. Fantastic. Thank you, Stuart. Good stuff. So we want good referrals. If they're a good, high quality client, it's somebody we want to do business with, then we want more of their friends, right? But again, this is why it's so important to laser target the type of clients you want to work with. And have multiple verticals, that's fine. But make sure that we're just going for the quality over the quantity, okay? And if you've got a big mess right now, we can clean it up. We can absolutely clean it up. We'll fix it with the net new. We'll make sure that we get the prices the way they should be. Because look, most of you, and this is a whole nother conversation, but most of you are priced improperly right now. Your pricing should be somewhere between $140 and $180 per seat. Based on the market that you're in. $140 would be kind of like out in the sticks, maybe you're out in the country a little bit, you're in a small market, what have you. 180, that's going to be, you're downtown, right? Or you're in a larger market. And that's before cybersecurity. Okay. So, but again, if you're sitting there going, well, we can't charge that. Our clients argue with us over $75 a seat. Well, that's because you don't have any good marketing in place. As soon as you implement what I'm showing you here today, you're going to be able to raise your prices and you can command a higher price. All right. So we'll get that with the net new, and we'll get there with the existing clients as well. Not everybody's going to come along for the ride either, right? Down the line, you're probably going to get rid of some of those troublesome clients that don't take your advice, don't appreciate you, and just constantly give you headaches and bog you down, all right? Because guess what that's going to do? That's going to be fulfilling, all right? You're going to be rewarded by having more time, and you're going to be less stressed, and you're going to focus on what your business should look like. Because most people I talk to, they're not as far along in their business as they should be or as they want to be. So here's the fun part, right? If you do this is where you get involved, right? We try to automate everything else. We want the marketing to do the heavy lifting, okay? So you can just focus on growing the business. And again, before I get into the close here, as far as the different ways we can fix this, I do just want to point out again, we're not just trying to get leads by whatever means possible, okay? We want pre-sold prospects that are predetermined to buy regardless of price. And now this is something we have to look at too, because a lot of people aren't in the right mindset. Okay. And I will share with you that when companies first come to us, they're what we call a tech with helpers. All right. And so what this is, well, somebody that starts their business and they hire a tech. and then the second hire is a tech. And then at some point, they hire their spouse reluctantly as some sort of indentured servant, to work with them and help them out. Maybe you get a couple more techs and, eventually you get stuck though, right? Because you're just trying to renegade your entire business. You're doing it all yourself. You're a part-time tech, you're part-time HR, you're part-time marketing, part-time sales, you're part-time customer service. I mean, literally you're a part-time CEO. If I were to ask you right now, how many techs do you have in your business? You'd probably count yourself. And that's bad. We don't want that, right? You should not be counted in that number. Okay. So that's the first indicator that you gotta pivot. You got to do something different. So we need that transformation from a tech to a real entrepreneur. And there's a big mindset shift that comes along with this too, okay? And it's bigger than you might think. It's a big issue, right? Look at the difference here, okay? Between the entrepreneurial mindset and the operational mindset, okay? I'm just going to throw all these up here so you can kind of see the difference in what I'm talking about. The entrepreneur wants to go fast and says, hey, let's hit the gas and we'll figure these things out as we go. Whereas the tech mindset says, whoa. I need steps 8, 9, and 10 figured out before I'm ever going to take step 1. And that's the quickest way to stunt your business growth, right? I've got to hire somebody to do this. I need to find this person. I was just in Hartford actually yesterday, speaking to a group of MSPs, and this one gentleman, very nice guy. But one gentleman, he goes through the whole day and we're talking and teaching and learning, and he gets done with the day and we're talking off, having a sidebar, and he says, yeah, this all sounds really great, but I'm going to have to find somebody to do this all for me. And he's still stuck in that tech mindset because he doesn't think he can do it. But you have to embrace the fact that you are the CEO of your business. You didn't just choose to go start a job as a tech, unless maybe you did, right? But I will tell you this, when you get to the end of the line and you look back at your business and where it's at, and is it profitable, and is it something that somebody actually wants to buy? I'll tell you right now, private equity firms, they're looking for companies that are 80 to 90% monthly recurring revenue, all contracted, 3+ years of good solid growth, good EBITDA, 20 to 30% growth year over year. Because I'll tell you this right now, if you tell me your business is growing, but you tell me it's less than 12.5%, I'm going to tell you you're going backwards. Because the market right now is growing at 12.5%. Anything less than that, you're standing still or going backwards. All right. So we got to fix this. And you got to understand, there's no such thing as a natural born entrepreneur. These are things you can change. Okay. And there's no such thing as talent, in my opinion. It's all skills. Skills eat talent for lunch every day. It's almost an insult to successful people by saying that they're talented, because it overlooks, in my opinion, the hours and hours that they dedicate to their craft of skill development that they put into what they're doing. An entrepreneur is not a talent either, right? It's not like art or music. It's just simply a set of skills. Okay. Now, here's what I don't want to have happen. Okay. Everything that we've talked about today, I don't want this to go and end up in what we call the good idea graveyard. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like file 13. Maybe it's on the floor somewhere in your office, or it's a drawer that you shove all the notes from all the webinars and seminars, and they just go there to die. All right. And that's what's going to happen to these notes unless we tackle a couple big problems that are standing in your way. So we just got to call an ace an ace, right? And a spade a spade. You got 3 big problems right now as it relates to marketing. Number 1 is you don't know where to start, and you won't start unless you have a step-by-step plan. And I would not blame you for that. I would absolutely applaud you for that. I will tell you that historically our clients, and I've dealt with and worked with many of them, they're great at following step-by-step process, because that's what you guys do every single day. The way to be most successful with us is to treat our process just like a recipe. Don't skip steps, put in a few hours a week, and follow the process. The second issue is that you're not great at writing sales letters and marketing communications. I wouldn't expect you to be, and we won't ask you to ever, okay? The best part about working with us is that you don't have to write a single sales letter, script, marketing campaign, copy. It's all done, every bit of it, hundreds of campaigns. And there's new campaigns and new content, new emails, blog posts every single month. Okay, it's all there for you. And you don't have a lot of time. That's the biggest one, right? And we're going to free up some of your time, because what I find is a lot of people they're, spinning their wheels for 5 or 10 hours a week as it is, trying to figure out what to do. All right. You're going to spend less time with us because it's a massive shortcut. You don't have to waste a bunch of time figuring out what to do or how to do it. All you're going to be doing is laser focusing your time on what actually works and implementation. It's all about implementing. Okay. So do not wait for the perfect time to come along, because the perfect time will never come along. You ask any of our clients right now if they ever halt their marketing, pause it, put it on the back. No, never. They'll laugh. They will absolutely laugh, because why would they ever want a gap in their new client acquisition? It would be like if you hired a salesperson and they just decided that they weren't going to prospect for about a month. You probably would fire them, right? If they're just like, no, I'm not going to prospect for a month because I'm kind of busy doing other stuff. Well, that's the same way you're treating your business if you're not consistently marketing. Because if you don't know where that next client is coming from, that's a very dangerous game to play with your business. Where I would like to see you is the next 3 to 5 years, get your business ready to sell. And even if you don't want to sell it, that's not the point, okay? Because if you're not going to sell it, guess who bought it? You did. So step back from your business right now and go, is this something I would buy? Would I want this, right? Because we want to help you build a business that you can pass down, you can step back from, where the business just runs itself. You can position it to sell, whatever you want to do. But just have those options. At least build a business by design, not by default. So you have those options. So here's what I want to share with you. Okay. And I want you to hang on. Actually, I want you to go ahead and open up this URL in a different window, because I'm going to offer something we do not offer on our websites. Okay. We have not offered this. And for the first 10 that get enrolled, all right, the first 10, I have a big bonus for you here. All right. But this is our toolkit membership. All right, go to toolkitlive.com/special. And Robert, if you would, throw this up in the chat for me, because I want to move on to the next slide here. The first 10, we got a lot of people on, right? So first 10, fast action bonus, because we like to reward decisive behavior and because we want you to get a different result than you've been getting. The first 10 that sign up, you're going to get our cybersecurity toolkit as a free bonus. Now, I got some other good bonuses and I got some other good things to share here before we get to the questions. But this program specifically has a complete 12-month marketing plan focused around cybersecurity. There's drip campaigns ready to go. And if you'll remember back, that seminar that I showed you that Brian and Mary Hamilton ran, 11,000 in new MRR and 150,000 in project work, the very first time they ran it, that's included in this program. You can go run it. It's plug and play. It's ready to go. So go ahead and get your order in. The first 10 are going to get the cybersecurity toolkit. Now, while you're doing that, brief high-level overview of what you're going to get. Okay. First off, you need the step-by-step. Okay. We don't just teach you how to fish, right? We give you the fishing rod, the line, the bait, the net, the tackle box. We give you directions to the pond and, jar of tartar sauce with, recipes for cooking them up once you caught them. Okay. This is soup to nuts. This is everything. This is entirely comprehensive, but we're going to take you through step-by-step on the coaching, week by week, one thing at a time. That's how you got to eat this elephant, right? One bite at a time. All right. So from establishing the target market to building the list, crafting the message, fixing the website, setting up those repeatable marketing systems, the oil wells, case studies, joint venture partners, everything. All right. And each session's like an hour to an hour and a half. And then you're going to have a directive. You're going to knock one thing out, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. You're going to look back at your marketing in 3 months, 3 years. It's not going to look like the same business. Okay. You need the campaigns too, though. Everything's ready to go. Hundreds and hundreds of campaigns and sales letters and scripts and copy and content. It's all yours to use, copyright free. And like I said, new content every single month. But you're going to have questions. You're going to need support, right? You got a dedicated customer success team. You've got monthly Q&A calls. We've never turned a client away. So anything you need, you just let us know. We'll get you squared away. When you access the program, you're going to access it from what's called our marketing dashboard. And this is something, think of it like, for the whole company, it's a license for the entire company to use. So if you got somebody that's going to help you out, or, whatever, somebody that's working for you, great, get them on the dashboard. We want everybody on there. And believe me, there's something for everybody there. It also plugs you into our community of MSPs. You'll remember in the beginning, I told you that we run the largest IT sales and marketing peer and mastermind groups in the entire industry. We have over 1,200 companies that take part in those peer and mastermind groups every week, month, and year. It's the largest in the industry, and there's not even a close second. We plug you in with these guys so you can reach out in our global queue, which stands for questions, updates, exchanges. You can post up questions. You can search for anything you're looking for. These guys will share with you pricing and service delivery and who to work with and what to charge and how to do this, that, and the other. It's a massive shortcut. Okay. And then, like I said, you're going to have new content, new campaigns every single month. This is the prospect hopper system. You can't mess this thing up, I'm telling you, okay? It's going to tell you, post a blog, send an email, send this postcard, post up to social. We're giving you everything. So when I say, if you'll put in 3 to 5 hours a week, you'll absolutely radically change your business. This is what I'm talking about. Put in 3 to 5 hours a week and just follow the process. That's it. That's all you got to do, okay? And just keep in mind here, right? You don't need any experience. If you can cut and paste, you can do it. And it's all proven. There's no guesswork involved here, right? I've been doing this with Robin and team for more than a decade. As a company, we've been doing it for more than 20 years, right? I love what we do because I get to see businesses go from 100,000 to 1 million and from 1 million to 10 million. And it happens relatively quickly. It's very, very rewarding. And I want you to take part in that. Couple extra bonuses I'm going to include. And then, man, I've got to, oh gosh, you guys are going to love it. If you pull up the website already, you have seen this is hundreds less than what's on our website, excuse me. But I'm going to include the quick start. Okay. These are 4 weeks of email campaigns. Super easy. Everybody can send an email, right? Everybody loves email. Okay. Super, super easy. This is to sort of wade you into the pool. We're not going to throw you in the deep end. Okay. We're just going to wade in here. We're going to start with some easy campaigns to get you some quick wins. Okay. Reviving dead leads, getting some referrals, getting some testimonials, all of this stuff. It's super easy to do. And we're going to hold your hand as you go through this. Okay. You're going to get the appointment generating miracle. So when you're ready to hire that SDR, we're going to train you and show you how to do it in this program. You're going to get a 2-day on-demand workshop. This is for your sales training. Okay. You get a salesperson, put them through this 2-day training. I would put it up against any other sales training that's out there. It's a $2,000 program. I'm including that as a bonus as well. So if you went to our website and you started stacking this up a la carte, okay, filling up the virtual shopping cart, so to speak, it's $18,000. And that's not including that cybersecurity toolkit that the first 10 are going to get today. And look at this. I mean, let me ask you guys, right? I mean, everybody would probably say 17,000, 18,000. That's a lot of money. I think so too, but I believe that you should sell on value, not price. So let me ask you a question. Think about this truly. Over the last year, how much money did you waste on failed marketing attempts that didn't work, right? How about your website, or Google AdWords? I hear this all the time. You can burn through $1,000 to $10,000 on Google AdWords and not pull a single lead, or direct mail, or brochures and other collateral. Do you think it's more than 17,000 down the drain since the inception of your business? And if you're going to stay in business, that number is going to continue to grow, right? Here's the other thing I want you to think about. How many prospects in your area right now are writing checks to your competition simply because they don't even know that you exist? You didn't even get the chance to put in a bid. They don't even know you're out there. It's probably more than $17,000 in business, right? And I'll tell you this. If you've got one trunk slammer, one-man band in your market area, they're sucking up $150,000 to $250,000 in business from you right now. It's out there to get. So let me ask you one more question, then I'll move on. How many new customers would you need to get to cover this? One, right? To make back 17,000 and say, one client, most likely, maybe two, depends. But if they're worth anything, most of you guys would tell me you don't ever lose a client, right? So even $1,000 or a $15 a month, $1,500 a month client, which is, 10 users, right? 1,500, 10 users, one new client, that's 18,000 in new MRR. There it is. One new client, right? We're not going to charge you that. We're not going to do that. Okay. We break this down. We make this super, super easy and attainable. This is hundreds less than what you are going to find on our website right now. Okay. We're doing this on the webinar. It's going to be included for today until close of business. You can sign up for $297 a month. All right. If you've already gone to the website, now I can't see what orders are in right now, so I don't know where we're at on the first 10, but pull this up. and get your questions ready because we're going to jump to those in just a minute. But go ahead and get signed up and get enrolled. You're probably spending this much money in the line at Starbucks every month. Okay. $297 to change your business radically. This program has brought on millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenue. So we want to leave you with no excuses. There's no reason not to do this. It is the right time. It's not a lot of money. You need one tiny little client to pay for it. All right. I know that you were sitting there at the end of 2022 going, you know what, this next year, we're going to do something different. Okay. We're going to change something. We're going to focus on growth. We're going to, whatever it may be. Right. Because I've heard that from so many, just over the past couple of years, as we come out of crazy times and, they're wanting to get serious about growing their business. But now you find yourself, and it's May. It's May. We're nearly halfway through the year and you haven't done anything yet. So do this one thing. Just take the first step, do the one thing and get started. Because if we break down the numbers, which is the only way you should be doing this, is making the numbers make sense. Even if all we did was help you get 2 more appointments per month, nothing crazy, just in addition to whatever you're getting right now. And we close half, we close one out of 2 every time. Okay. That's 12 new clients, right? Even if we shoot crazy low, we say the average client's $1,000 a piece, which is very, very low. Okay. You're probably underpriced, but we'll fix that later. All right. My point is this, that's 12 new clients, $12,000 in new MRR. That's over $144,000 in new service-based revenue every single year. You want to really put this into perspective? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here, but if you've been in business for over 6 years and you're not at $1 million in revenue, look at these numbers right now. Even if all you were doing starting right now was bringing on 1 new client per month at $1,000 a piece, that's it. And you do that consistently over the next 6 years, not counting referrals and other sales you're going to make, project work, all of those things, you're still going to be over $1 million in revenue inside of 6 years. How's that for perspective, right? So I want you to go ahead and get signed up. We're going to open this up to questions. I'm not sure where we're at on the first 10, but just go ahead and get signed up and we'll jump into the questions right here too. Let me see. I'm going to open up the chat here. Hey, Robert, you still on there, buddy, right?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we got a couple in the Q&A. One is, I'm struggling to hire good employees. Should I implement marketing while I'm trying to hire people?
Oh, great question. So look, let's back up on that for just a second. Yes, you need, it's not just about implementing marketing. You need to plug into our system and process because we're going to show you who to hire, when to hire. You guys have to understand this is just as heavy as far as what we do. It is just as heavy on the business development side of things as it is the marketing side of things. Okay. So when I say, don't try to get in shape before you go to the gym, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Come as you are. Don't wait, because we're going to plug you in with other business owners that have been there and done that. And our coaches, we've all been there and done that. Right. So we'll show you who to hire, when to hire, how to pay, how to set it all up, everything, and guide you on that process. So no, absolutely get started now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Next best time is today. All right. And if you ask my wife, the best time to plant a tree is every day because she loves that. Anyway, we just got some new trees. So sorry about that. I see in the chat, Mo says, will we be stuck in a 24-month agreement? All right, here's the deal. Right now, you're stuck with whatever you've got. You're not getting stuck in an agreement. We're just taking our cost and we're spreading it out so that we don't have to charge you 20 grand to start working for us. We take the hit on that. Right. We also need to make sure that nobody's signing up with us, taking all of our content and campaigns, and then, parting ways the next day. Right. That wouldn't be very fair. Unfortunately, most people are good. But unfortunately, we've been, unfairly taken advantage of, in the past. And so the way that we do it, like I said, we just spread it out over a number of months there. But the fact of the matter is, when you bring on a new client, you should have them in 24 or 36 month agreements as well to protect them and also to lock in their pricing with you as well, also so that you know exactly what they're going to be getting. And so this, one client of any size, right? You can trip over a $300 a month client. Okay. If you do 5% of what we ask you to do, you'll blow this thing out of the water. So you won't be looking at anything as being stuck with us. You'll be looking at what else you can do with us. And to that point, just to make sure I cover this, if you are a Kaseya partner or work with any of the Datto family of companies, go ahead and get signed up. And I've got a little something extra for you there. They do provide some MDF funds if you're working with them. So go ahead and get signed up and then shoot me an email. That's why my email is on the screen there. Go ahead and get signed up for the $297, which, like I said, if you go to our website right now, you're going to see that for $400 and $500 a month. Okay. It's $297 on this webinar and good through close of business today. So please go ahead and get enrolled right there. Fantastic. Mo, just hang tight for me. And as soon as I'm off the webinar, I'm gonna send you something here. Okay. Just hang tight. All right. Like I said, if you've got Datto, go ahead and get signed up, and or any of their family companies. They're very nice. They want you to work with us because obviously if you have good marketing in place, you're growing your business. They know that our clients are the best and fastest growing in the entire industry. So they provide marketing development funds in certain situations for people to entice them to come work with us, because that's good for everybody, right? So fantastic stuff. All right. So any other questions? I just want to make sure we've covered everybody here. I don't see.
Yeah, we got one more.
Oh, yeah.
It's will this recording session be shared, and who can we engage to sign up with this program?
Will it say that again?
The last part was kind of confusing for me. It said, who can we engage to sign up with this program?
Okay. No, just go to the website. But yeah, if you guys have questions, you can email me right now, and we'll get you squared away there. That's not a problem at all. And yeah, if we're misunderstanding the question, please feel free. Just go ahead and get signed up. Shoot me an email. I'll walk you through whatever I need to there as far as that. And I see Mo. Congrats, Mo. We're so happy to have you. Yeah, we'll get you taken care of there. Yeah, if you're a Kaseya or Datto partner, you're going to have $250 off. Okay. So what we'll do, Mo, we'll just make it nice and simple. We'll probably just take that off of your next payment, or we can probably adjust it on this first one, what have you. Either way, you're going to get a $250 credit. So that's very cool. So if you guys are Datto or Kaseya partners, like I said, be sure to shoot me a quick email. And if you've already signed up, like I said, we'll adjust that accordingly. You just need to let me know via email, and we'll get that squared away. All right. So for everybody that did get signed up, congratulations. We're so happy to have you. Look forward to working with you. I'm excited to get off here and see all of our new clients. I will also say too, if you've gotten signed up, or even if you haven't, and you're a business that's right at 500,000 in revenue, or especially if you're over 500,000, if you're 1 million, 2 million plus, there's a conversation around the automation that I certainly want to have with you. So you'll also see on that website, you can book a consultation with me. So if you're over 500,000 in revenue and or you need the automation piece, please go ahead and do that, or shoot me an email and we can explore that further. I just want to make sure you got all the right tools, because if you're sitting at 1 million and you want to go to 5, there's certain things as far as the automation I want to make sure you have taken care of. All right. As far as the recording, shoot me an email. Actually, if you want to shoot me an email, I can get the recording to you. I don't know how quickly it will happen, but this offer is just good through close of business. So I would highly encourage you, if you're on right now, go ahead and get signed up. It's not now or never. You can always get signed up with us on the website. It's just a couple $100 more per month. So it's not now or never, unfortunately. It's just now or retail. This is a special we're doing today. So excited to have you guys on. And again, look forward to working with all of you very soon. And thanks so much for spending time with us today. Take care.